Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. ECOWAS President appeals to government of member states not to shut borders over Ebola threat. Rescue operations may end tonight at the Synagogue of All Nations Church as emergency agencies put death toll at 49, 130 rescued alive. Tribunal set up to investigate violent incident between soldiers and BRT bus drivers in Lagos in July begins sitting. And United States and 30 other countries agree to use all means necessary to fight Islamic militants. All right, a quick reminder to you now that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. And of course, we urge you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS, and Windows 8 platforms. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow the instructions. Well, impacting lives through compelling eyewitness stories is the basis of the Channel's Eyewitness platform. Today, our correspondent, Oreoluwa Shonibare, shows us some of those pictures from the eyewitness reporters and their stories that create change.
Our eyewitness reporters today have been sending pictures which gives an insight into the cause of the harrowing experiences faced on the roads. This visual of traffic is from Salisu, showing what motorists are passing through after a hard day's work in Tudunwada, Kaduna State in north-central Nigeria. Also from Kaduna State, Halilu shows the condition of the Zabi Bridge, which is now a motorist nightmare. Finally from the north, Waziri from Gombe State sent this image of a road which he notes was destroyed by flood. In the southwest region, Kayode hits with this mud-ridden image from Mushin, Lagos State. The Delta is not devoid of its own share of deplorable infrastructure, as Temison exposes the abandoned road in Ubeji community in Warri, Delta State. For our story of the day, Emeka Ozo alerts on the sad state of this road, a cry which made Channels Television visit the community to get the view of residents who are anything but happy.
Well, this road, as it is now, is a death trap to all the residents of Roma Hollow. This road, I've been on air talking concerning this road, and government has not done anything.
We have been suffering so much because if you go more further, you will see that cars are no more going further again. Business around this place, even people are parking out.
The Eyewitness platform was created to usher in change. And the more pictures you send in, the more we at Channels Television will ensure that the change you desire moves one step closer to reality. Oreoluwa Shonibare, Channels Television News.
While we continue our coverage on the containment of the Ebola virus, and the president of the Economic Community of West African States, Kadre Wadrogo, has appealed to governments of member states not to shut their borders owing to the outbreak of the Ebola virus. He made this call at the 10th edition of the ECOWAS Development Partners meeting in Abuja. Mr. Wadrogo says shutting the borders would only frustrate current efforts to strengthen economic ties and integration among member states. Our correspondent Gloria Umezuke reports.
This is the 10th annual ECOWAS Development Partners Coordination meeting, and tackling terrorism and the Ebola virus, which has ravaged the West African sub-region, formed the bane of discussion here. In the wake of the growing challenges of terrorism and more recently the Ebola virus disease, countries have teamed up to proffer more permanent solutions to the outbreak. Deepening discussions on how to adopt a more coordinated approach to the issues, member countries sought bold measures to contain the epidemic.
The head of state have created a solidarity fund for epidemics in WAHO, and we are now receiving contribution to member states and all partners for our fight against this Ebola virus. But I want to appeal to all ECOWAS member states not to close their borders, not to isolate the affected countries, because this will be counterproductive, and we should cultivate the spirit of solidarity.
Examining the major challenges facing the West African region, other development partners at the meeting, like the UN and the EU, underscored the need to aggressively fight against both human and food insecurity.
Security challenges in the sub-region pose imminent threat to gains and effort made and deserve a special attention and regional approach because, as the saying goes, there is no sustainable development without peace, and there can be no sustained peace without development.
Terrorism, poverty, disease know no borders. The problems of one country can quickly spill over into the neighbors. A regional response is therefore badly needed in all these domains.
The ECOWAS Commission has taken far-reaching decisions to tackle these many challenges, but beyond that, cooperation between member states have been emphasized here for peace and security and for the benefits of improving economic gains in the West African region. Gloria Umezuki, Channels Television News.
The Minister of Education says the federal government was not influenced by private school owners to adopt the September the 22nd resumption dates for secondary and primary schools in the country. The minister was speaking during a meeting with the House Committee on Education and members of the Nigerian Medical Association on the effects of the Ebola virus disease and the new resumption date for schools. The leadership of the Medical Association also told the committee that the association has nothing against the new date announced by the federal government.
The Ebola virus disease and how it has affected the resumption of schools in the country has been a source of concern for some time now. Some parents and groups have questioned the decision of the federal government to have schools resume on the 22nd of September, a concern that has reached the House of Representatives Committee on Education.
Some of the people who raised concern and some of the organizations formally wrote to the National Assembly expressing their concern. It became a matter of a public responsibility on our part to ask for more information and to seek engagement so that more light will be shed, and at the end of the day we will arrive at a position that will be in the general and overall interest of Nigerians.
The Minister of Education explains why that date was selected.
Because we felt with the progress reported to us by the commissioners of the measures they have started taking, and with the positive report given us by the Federal Ministry of Health, we felt 22nd September was quite ideal for schools to resume.
He also wondered why some associations, such as the Nigerian Medical Association and the Nigerian Union of Teachers, disagreed with the date selected.
Pessimism that government has been pressurized by private sectors, schools. I was reading in some of the papers, somebody was even saying the change was to allow Jonathan to hold public rallies to justify congregation because schools are open. These are over-trivializing the matter. With all due respect, I expected the Medical Association. They didn't know that we consulted with Federal Ministry of Health. I'm sure they didn't know.
The president of the Nigerian Medical Association, however, spoke for the doctors.
It is important that in order not to feed into the unhealthy fear monster in the country, schools should resume.
The minister assured the gathering that the federal government will continue to monitor the situation closely and will not hesitate to take every necessary step to protect the Nigerian child. Landry Lasese, Channels Television News.
All right, let's take a look at some politics now. The chairman of the Northern Elders Forum, Alhaji Tanko Yakasai, today responded to the statement attributed to the Arawa Consultative Forum, asking President Goodluck Jonathan not to run for a second term, alleging non-performance. Briefing newsmen today in Abuja, Alhaji Yakasai said it's unfair to say that the president has not performed, calling those who hold such views unserious.
To say the President Jonathan does not like the law is outrageous and uncharitable. And to say that he has failed is untrue. NEC received a statement with complete surprise and total bewilderment. The ACF leadership appears not to adhere to the tradition of the organization, which was originally conceived as a non-partisan umbrella organization to harmonize and promote all shades of interest and opinions in the law. The NEC wishes to affirm that ACF chairman's statement in no way represents the general opinion in the law, nor does it represent the attitude of the majority of northern leadership to the Jonathan administration. The NEC once again wishes to caution the current ACF leadership against allowing the organization to be hijacked by people who do not mean well for this country. The ACF must not allow itself to be thrown into the cesspit of partisanship.
When the news at 10 returns, CBN reforms come under heavy criticism. That's on Business News. Who joins again?